What happens when a movie exposes a truth so uncomfortable that it completely vanishes just 48 hours after its release? On July 3rd, 2026, the highly anticipated film Satluj premiered uncut on streaming. 2 days later, it was abruptly geo-blocked for millions of viewers across India. Directed by Honey Trehan and starring Diljit Dosanjh, this biographical drama has sparked a fierce international debate. Why was Satluj suddenly pulled, and what does its disappearance tell us about the state of creative freedom today? So, let's get started. To understand why this movie is considered so dangerous by regulators, you have to understand the man behind the story, Jaswant Singh Khalra. During the incredibly turbulent period of militancy in Punjab during the late 80s and early 90s, the region was consumed by violence. Khalra wasn't a politician or a militant, he was a bank director and a human rights activist who undertook a monumental task tracking down thousands of young men who had vanished into thin air. By digging through municipal death records and cremation grounds, Khalra uncovered a horrifying pattern. The police had secretly cremated thousands of citizens, labeling them as unidentified or uncleared. His findings weren't just conspiracy theories. Years later, both the National Human Rights Commission and the Supreme Court of India officially validated his work, acknowledging that these illegal mass cremations had indeed occurred. Tragically, in 1995, Khalra himself was abducted and murdered. Satluj, originally announced under the title Punjab 95, is a 163-minute biographical drama that tries to bring this deeply painful, officially recognized chapter of history to light. For over 3 years, Satluj was locked in a brutal bureaucratic standoff with the CBFC, India's official film certification board. The board didn't just ask for minor tweaks, they demanded a staggering 127 cuts. They wanted the names of specific places altered, vital pieces of dialogue rewritten, and any realistic depiction of police overreach completely scrubbed clean. But the filmmakers stood their ground, refusing to let the factual integrity of Khalra's life be sanitized. When a theatrical release became practically impossible due to these roadblocks, the creators turned to an alternative path, OTT streaming platforms. On July 3rd, the streaming service Z5 finally premiered the movie Uncut. The victory, however, was short-lived. Within 48 hours, Z5 abruptly pulled the movie for viewers inside India, citing vague current elements or circumstantial sensitivities. This sudden removal exposes a blatant double standard in modern cinema. Over the past few years, India has seen a massive influx of highly controversial, deeply polarizing films based on real-world events. Films like the Kashmir Files, which deal with the tragic exodus of Kashmiri Pandits, or the Kerala Story, faced intense public protest and calls for boycott. Yet they were granted full theatrical releases, heavily promoted, and are still widely available on streaming platforms today. Even ultra-violent modern dramas like Dhurandhar navigated the regular censor channels, received an adult certification, and safely reached their audiences. So, why did Satluj face a completely different fate? The platform points to a systematic bias in how history is allowed to be told. Projects that align with dominant state-sanctioned narratives enjoys a smooth, frictionless path to the screen. But when a film turns the lens around to demand institutional accountability or to expose systemic failures by state machinery, even when those events are recognized by the country's own Supreme Court, the scrutiny becomes suffocating. A mature democracy is measured by its ability to confront its own history without filter. The period of militancy in Punjab was messy and painful, with immense suffering on all sides. Suppressing well-researched, deeply felt artistic account doesn't erase that pain. It only enforces a curated, one-sided collective memory. In a democracy, the true role of a censor board is to classify content by age, not to rewrite history or protect institutions from criticism. Ultimately, the audience should hold the right to watch, critique, accept, or reject a piece of art. Responding to the removal, Diljit Dosanjh and the filmmaking team poignantly reminded the public Jaswant Singh Khalra's voice and the raw truth he stood for cannot be silenced by a geo-block. And here is the twist. Because Satluj remains fully accessible to global audience on Z5, the conversation isn't dying. Instead, it's transforming a regional history into a global discussion on human rights and artistic freedom. What do you think about the sudden removal of Satluj? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into global cinema and censorship. See you in the next video. Bye bye guys.